Hello everyone, welcome back to Ayumilove channel for another Awaken QSR content. In today's video, I'll be covering my latest team for the Roaring Tulpa Stage 14, or also known as the Hell Mode Stage 2. In my channel, I just realized that I have not made a Roaring Tulpa for the Hell Mode difficulty yet. So probably this is a great opportunity to show you a team that works for me 100% all the time. I have a different variation of this team using basically a nuke team, but it's not a 100% success rate. So probably it'll be much more useful to show you a team that works, although it takes some time for you to speedrun that dungeon. And before I dive into the content, if you're new to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video to this channel. And if you enjoy this content, click the like button to show your support. Alright, so let's jump into the team. So this is the Hell Mode Stage 2 Roaring Tulpa. I'll skip the formation to show you my team. Alright, so in my team, I have Hakrin, Garrell, Yolanda and Gangelo. Hakrin is here to provide his increased max health up to all of his allies so that they can tank the damage. And apart from that, he's there to provide his 20% total defense stats to all of his allies, so that they will receive less damage. My main damage nuker will be Garrell. He's there to clear the first two waves as well as to bring down the boss shield. Yolanda is here as the support hero to provide her massive shield to protect her allies, as well as to provide the bonus turn to Garrell so that he can nuke the enemy down quickly. And finally, we have Gangelo. He's there to take down the boss shield quickly with his poison debuff. And if you do not have Yolanda, you can replace Mitasia. However, it'll be a slower run since Mitasia is there just to revive and heal, whereas for Yolanda, she can protect her allies with her shield and also provide bonus turn to her attacker allies. And for the spells, I use Gaia's Renewal for supplementary healing, and the second spell will be Sundering Purgatory for the defense down, so that Garrell can deal damage to the enemies. If you're running Mitasia instead of Yolanda, I will highly recommend you to swap the Gaia's Renewal for this spell, the Last Breath, because you'll find that Hakrin will be dying almost quite frequently. Whereas for if you're using Yolanda, I would suggest to use Gaia's Renewal because her shield will be protecting Hakrin. So let me show you this team in action. So at the start of the battle, Gangelo will begin the turn first to apply the defense down. Whereas for Yolanda, she'll provide the bonus turn to Garrell so that he has 2 turns in this round to attack the enemy twice. And Hakrin will be there to apply his increased max health up. And all of the enemies will target Hakrin because he's the weakest element in this dungeon. So there is the bonus turn that Garrell gained to wipe out the enemy. So since there's only one enemy left here, Hakrin will be able to taunt the enemy to prevent the big boulder guy from performing his AoE attack. In order for your Hakrin to taunt the enemy, he requires at least about 80% focus to consistently taunt the enemy here. And once that's done, the next following round, Garrell will proceed to finish off the mini enemies here. Alright, so we are on round 5 on the second wave here. So this wave will be much more easier compared to the first wave because there's only one big boulder enemy here. Alright, so that is the second increased max health up. Now my heroes are pretty tanky right now. And let's see. So that is Yolanda's shield. In case the big boulder guy manages to slip in his AoE attack, they will be protected by the massive shield here. And do take note that all of my heroes here, except for Hakrin, has about I think 140 speed and above, so that they can go before the boss in wave 3. So once Hakrin has placed up to 3 increased max health up, his role is done here. because all of my heroes will be super tanky right now. with the 45% additional max health from Hakrin's increased max health up buff here. All of the enemies will be targeting Hakrin since I think he's the weakest element here. So I'm not worried about Hakrin dying here because they'll be protected by Yolanda's guard buff or Yolanda's shield. So with Gangelo in this team, his poison damage will deal 6% of the enemy's max health because with his trait, he will amplify the poison damage by 100%. So usually the poison will deal just 3% of the enemy's max health as damage. Now it will do 6% instead. And I disabled Gangelo's abilities so that he will only primarily use his basic attack to apply poison, because the boss does not really apply buff on himself, so I don't think it's useful there. So to make the run much more consistent, just disable Gangelo's abilities here. So as you notice that the guard buff is placed on Hakrin to protect him from dying. Now the guard buff switched to, I think, to Garrell now. I think it's based on the number of health that my heroes has. So the less health they have, then the guard buff will be placed on the specific hero. So we are now in round 13. The boss has 22% health left. I think the shield just expired already due to the damage done by Garrell as well as Gangelo's poison damage. And after this run, I will show you how I get each of these heroes and what are the stats to achieve to deal damage to the boss, as well as how to survive against the enemy nuke's attack. Alright, so this battle took around about less than 5 minutes, around about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And the gears I got would be a speed boots, which is quite good. This one has focus, critical rate, and flat health. Ideally, if this was a health percentage, that would be very, very good here. And we have a attack terra set with critical damage, resistance, and precision. Alright, so this is the first hero in my team, Gangelo. He's there to use his poison to quickly break down the boss shield. And if you have him ascended to Ascension 2, then his poison damage will deal 6% of the enemy's max health as damage instead of 3%. And if you do not have any Ascension on him, the damage still works quite quickly because it still amplifies the damage by 50% more. So instead of doing the regular 3% as damage, it will deal 4.5% max health as the damage based on the enemy's max health. And here are his total stats. He has around about close to 25,000 health, 1,400 defense, 182 speed, and over 100% focus. His speed tuned to go first in the battle so that he will be able to apply the Sundering Purgatory, the AoE defense down, so that Garrell will deal more damage through his ultimate ability as well as his basic attack. And for Roaring Tulpa, the resistance is much lower compared to the other Arcane Dominator dungeons, hence you just need to achieve around about 80 to 100% focus just to land your debuff there. And let's go through Gangelo's equipment. He's currently equipped in a revival set to allow him to restore 10% of his max health each time he takes his turn. And let's go through the equipments. So for the weapon, I have some health percentage, focus percentage, and flat health. You'll notice a pattern here where most of my equipment for my debuffer would prioritize on the health, defense, focus, and speed. So, and here is the helmet here. As you notice, there's health, focus. There's no defense here, and speed, because for helmet and chest plate, they do not have speed substats. Agility plays a massive role here in terms of deflecting the enemy's attack, and it works very well against the water element hero. Since Gangelo is a wood element hero, the deflection against the water element enemies will be much more higher, and this allows him to survive even longer because the deflection will reduce the damage intake by 50%. And this is his armor or the chest plate. He has the double roll on focus, triple roll on health and agility. Critical damage is not useful for him. Ideally, this would be a defense percentage. And I have a speed boots on Gangelo because I want to speed tune him to go first in a battle, especially for Chumlai Dragon. He has 2 rolls here, focus and defense. Critical damage is not useful for him. This is not an attacker hero. And this is a health ring with some triple roll on focus and speed. And finally, we have the health necklace with health and speed. This one is more useful for attacker heroes that deal damage based on their max health, like Rickert. So I will replace this necklace with a better substats that prioritize on like defense percentage, speed, and agility and defense percentage. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. To further increase his survivability for Gangelo, I will recommend you to also prioritize on agility if you're able to find equipment that has agility in their substats. Alright, so let's move on to the second hero here. Yolanda is my second hero in the team. Here are her total stats. She has 24,000 health, close to 1,500 defense, 155 speed. She's speed 2 to go second, and a 3.5% resistance. She does not need any focus if you're not using her to apply the Sundering Purgatory. And she does not apply any negative effects, so you can focus on her resistance here to improve her survivability against enemy negative effects such as like Roaring Tulpa. It will apply this AoE defense down. And let's check out the gear. She's also equipped in a revival set, similar to Gangelo. So this is her weapon, health, speed. Ideally, these two would be like defense percentage and agility. And this is the helmet with some triple roll on health, defense, focus, and critical damage. And this is the chest plate with some health, agility, critical rate, and critical damage is not useful for her since her skills does very little damage. And this is the health boots with some double roll on focus, resistance, and flat stats health. And this is a health ring with double roll on resistance, defense, and focus. And finally, we have a health necklace here with some triple roll on flat stats health, resistance, and defense. This one was my previous equipment that I put on my healer heroes because some of the healer heroes in this game, they heal based on their max health. So having flat stats health here would increase the amount of healing dealt to your allies. And as you notice, most of my heroes here are geared in revival set because I want the Yolanda's Divine Mentor trait to apply this guard buff on the lowest health on my hero. And usually the lowest health would be Garrell because he's an attacker hero, and usually attacker heroes does not have much defense and health stats. So by having your heroes equipped in a revival set, especially for those supported hero and debuffer heroes like Gangelo, Yolanda, and Hakrin, I can make this guard buff to always apply to Garrell, my attacker hero, to prevent him from dying. And there are some cases where this guard buff will be applied to Hakrin because he'll be also taking a lot of damage from the enemies, since the enemies will be targeting him as he's the weakest element, especially in the Roaring Tulpa. And for the Shield of the Light ultimate ability, this shield does not scale based on Yolanda's max health, so probably I would switch the gears to focus more on her defense stats. This shield scales based on the amount of health lost by each member, so this one helps really well for Hakrin since he'll be losing a lot of health through the enemy's damage. Alright, so for Yolanda's glyphs, they're all basically maxed out as well as her abilities. I recently pulled her after obtaining Bachelor from my 10 pool advanced summoning crystals that I did not record it. So I was lucky to get her so that I can try it out in certain areas in the game, such as like the Queen of Tides, the latest Dawn Guard dungeon, which is currently running. I think a few more days left for that event to expire. Right, so let's move on to the next hero. So the third hero on my team will be Hakrin. He's there to provide his AoE defense through his Ancient Guardian trait. Once you ascend him to second ascension, he'll provide 20% of his defense stats to all of his allies. So by using this his trait to your advantage, I will highly recommend you to boost up his defense stats. I have him around about 3500 defense and 20,000 health so that he can tank the damage. 142 speed and 100% focus. You just need around about 80% focus and above to taunt the enemy in the first two waves. And he's there to also apply his totemic charge, his ultimate ability to grant max health up to all of his allies. And once he reaches like a 3 max stacks, he'll improve all of his allies up to 45% of max health. And currently Hakrin is geared in a revival set similar to Gangelo and Yolanda, so that the guard buff will be prioritized on Garrell. And let's go through the equipment. So this is the weapon on Hakrin. He has some resistance, focus and defense percentage. So the pattern substats for Hakrin will be slightly different compared to Gangelo and Yolanda, because I want to primarily focus on improving his defense stats so everyone will benefit from it. So I will be focusing more towards on having a higher amount of defense substats. So this is the helmet with some flat stats defense and defense percentage, health and resistance. This is the chest plate with some focus. Focus is useful to taunt the enemies. Defense and resistance and health. This is one of my best pieces for curse set. And this is a revival boots with some defense primary stats. Health, agility, focus and speed. This is a health ring with some focus and defense substats. And finally we have a defense necklace with some focus and speed. I did not use a defense ring on Hakrin because I'm currently using him to speed farm the Gemini Dragon. So I need him to have a certain threshold of health so that he can survive the Gemini Dragon damage, the AoE damage. So that's why I have him in a health ring instead of a defense ring here. But you can also use a health ring provided if you are able to land multiple upgrade rolls in the defense percentage here, as shown here. For these two substats is pretty not useful for Hakrin. Ideally this would be something like provide additional speed or agility. So for Hakrin's glyphs, they are all maxed out as well as his abilities here. So the fourth hero in my team will be Garrell. He's the main attacker hero to wipe out the first two waves, as well as to help out in bringing the boss shield down with his fury or fiery fist. So let's check out his total stats. He has around about 4300 attack, 144 speed. His speed to go before the boss, so that's why he need more than 140 speed. And as usual, for all attacker heroes, they need 100% critical rate. And once you achieve that, you can max out their attack and critical damage. Ideally, the attack and critical damage should be balanced. I would recommend you not to have like more attack and less critical damage, because the damage output will be significantly less. So ideally, these two should go up in sync. So like this one would be like 4005 attack, and this one would be like 250 critical damage. Garrell does not apply any negative effect. That's why you do not need to prioritize focus on him. And agility is quite useful to deflect the enemy attacks, especially in Roaring Tulpa, where most of the enemies there are wood element heroes. Let's go over his gears. He's currently equipped in a curse set and warrior set. Warrior set provides additional 50% attack, and curse set allows him to have a 35% chance to launch a bonus attack through his basic ability. This synergizes very well with his skills because let's check it out. I think he has a rage meter. Yeah, this Flaming Asura, his trait, is a unique trait which allows him to activate his Asura state once he gains 6 rage. each time he attacks the enemy, he'll gain one rage. So by having him equipped in the curse set, right, each time he procs this curse set bonus attack, they'll speed up to allow him to achieve the 6 rage quickly, so that he will deal much more damage through his Asura state as well as his Enrich chain. If he is able to use his Enrich chain during the Asura state, the damage will be massive. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears. So this is the weapon. It has some critical rate, speed and critical damage. I have a better equipment for the curse set, but I swapped it to this one because I need to speed tune him to go before the boss. So that's why I need the speed subset here. And this is the helmet with some triple roll on critical damage and double roll on attack. This is the chest plate with some health, critical rate, critical damage and attack. Health is also plays an important role for Garrell because it helps him to tank the damage from the enemy. And if he's able to tank the damage, then he'll be able to counter attack through his passive skill, which is this one, Inferno Shock. So once he counter attack, he'll be able to perform a lifesteal up to 50%. So based on the damage dealt, 50% will be recovered as healing. So that's why he does not need like a revival set to help him survive in the Roaring Tulpa. And this is attack boots with some agility and critical rate. Agility is useful to deflect attacks. And this one is ideally this flat stats attack would be health percentage to improve his survivability. And this is a critical rate ring with some double roll on speed, critical damage, defense, and precision. Ideally this defense would be attack percentage for more damage. And finally we have an attack necklace with some double roll on health percentage, focus, critical rate, and speed. And his glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. If you're unable to find speed substats on your equipment, then you can probably alternatively use a Raider set to gain additional 15 speed. So probably if you do not have this one, this speed substats, then you can swap in a Raider set instead of a warrior boots or warrior set. Alright, so that's it for this showcase on each of the heroes' gears and stats. There is another method to speed farm Roaring Tulpa, which is to use Zitlin, which is this hero from the Dragon Scale March. This guy, I do not have him, so I wasn't able to test this guy out in Roaring Tulpa. But I noticed that most people who have him, right, are able to speed farm the Roaring Tulpa under like 3 minutes. Due to his, I think his Omen of Demise ultimate ability, which applies this curse. When the enemy have this curse, right, all of the damage taken will be, I think, will be replicated once the curse debuff is expired. So let's say assuming all of your heroes deals 1000 damage to the enemy, and once this curse damage expires, then those accumulated damage, which is 1000, will be dealt again to the enemy, so that you can quickly break down the boss shield, which allows you to speed farm Roaring Tulpa very fast, especially in like Roaring Tulpa stage 12. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please leave a like on this video if you found this video helpful. And if you like to support my work, you can head over to patreon.com/Ayumilove to be a patron there. And if you'd like to learn more about Awaken Chaos Era content, you can check out my website at ayumilove.net for more Awaken Chaos Era guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!